began
I
that
did, I was gonna,
Law wanted to interview me on camera. So I gave an interview. One of the things I said is my gravitational pull from on camera to eventually going more and more into voiceovers was that I love embracing that which I don't look like. The range that I'm afforded to play off camera is much wider. This is what I'm stuck with right here. And thanks. It's my little punum, and this is what I'm stuck with. But in animation and video games, I can be whatever I can sound like. That means age, body type, hair features. I can have cool long white hair. In fact, I was. Who's the in Lord of the Rings? Not the Gandalf, but who's the other set? Saruman. So I play him in the video game. I look like you, but I get to play him in the video game. So I get to play crazy characters. So, but I want to make this very clear. All the work we've been doing here for the last 2 days is the foundation for animation and video games as well. I don't want you to think of it as this other technique. Much like I don't think the work I do on stage is any different than I do when I have a camera up my nose. Yeah, I make technical adjustments to reach a third mezzanine. My director's like, hey, they paid for tickets like the guys in the front row, make sure they could hear you and see you. So I might be bigger in my gestures, I might project more, but the internal organic work of who am I, where am I, what do I want? Am I in a public place or a private place? What's my history with the person I'm speaking with? All those after bullet points are alive and humming. It's no different just because I'm playing a bombastic turnip from outer space or whatever I'm playing. So the kernel of your work and the stuff that I'll be plaguing you with today isn't how well was your accent or how goofy was your lisp. Those are all great. That to me is all the toppings on the sundae and the cherry on the top. The inner workings, the stuff I'm plaguing with, are going to be just those kinds of things like, hey, Todd, who are you talking to? Oh, my dead dog. I was imagining my dead. Oh, okay. The specificity of that, the focus. I use the word focus a lot. Who am I? Who am I speaking with? That's what I mean by focus. Mm. So taking wacky voice, draping it over words is not enough. Honestly, when I'm casting a cartoon, I'm going to bring in 274 guys for that role, 900 women for that, whatever it is. They're all funny. They all have wacky voices. They can all do the accent. So turn the equation around for a minute. Imagine you're a casting director. Imagine you have to sit through brain-numbingly that same scene hundreds of times. I can't do it in one sitting. My ears and brain get tired. So it takes me a couple days to get through them. And I whittle from this many down to this many. Then I take 2 days off. And I get it from this many down to this many. Nickelodeon only wants 10. I heard 384. So I do it in 2 or 3 rounds. Now, imagine that, if you will, how I can scrape down from 300 down literally 90%. My first round goes from the big, whatever it is, to about 30 something. That's my first goal for round 1. My next goal is get from 30 something down to 18 or 12. And then sometimes as I send me the top 3. I just finished a series at Nickelodeon. I just finished 18 months of this show. We just finished, we're going to launch in the fall. And they only wanted my top 4 choices. 4? What? And that's really hard. So I want you to think of it this way. How do you consistently get from the 300 pile to at least the 36 pile? And then what are the nuances that get me from the 36 pile to the 12 pile? And how the heck can I get in that 4 pile? So today we're going to be talking broad brushstrokes, finer brushstrokes, and then the single hair brushstrokes. But in every one of those conversations, it's not what's my wacky voice. I don't talk about your voice. We'll work from the inside out and the outside in, and like accordions, we'll be doing the whole kit and caboodle. But I want you to be aware that I don't call myself a voiceover artist. I know some people use that phrase.
Actor.
From a very foundational standpoint, I call myself a voice actor. I'm still acting. I could be a stage actor. I could be an on-camera actor. And today you're a voice actor, but you're a voice actor. You're taking text, you're breathing life into it. Someone that puts black ink on a white page and you are breathing life into those words. It might be funny, it might be bombastic, it might be tragic, it could be anything. Animation is largely comedic, video games is largely adventure and action. Okay, there's everything. So I did send out an array of material for you guys to play with. And I'll give you just a couple of, nuts and bolts of how we're going to do this today. Much like I'm not going to do the fake audition role play thing, which was kind of fun too. It was so straightforward and mean. Like, I'm not casting you for this role. Do we like that straightforwardness though? Or was that a little wilting? It was a little wilting. But I applaud him for doing that. It was good. It was kind of like you'd rather be that because I'll tell you one thing about Hollywood. When I first moved to Hollywood, I came home every day from auditions and would say to my wife, I got another job. I'm sure I got this job. I'm positive I got this job because they thanked me. They shook my hand all the way out the door and I didn't hear anything. Well, because in LA, there's a lot of functioning on theater. Thank you for coming. One of the recent auditions before COVID, one of the auditions I went into on camera, I went for a sitcom, and they literally, the cast members stood up and they did this thing. Oh my God, Rick Zeef, oh my God, they were doing the bow, they did this. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting this job because they're bowing to me. That's just way over the top. There's no way I'm getting this. So I've learned the more they're effusive, the less chance I have of getting the job. So I think in a lot of ways, Peter and I are good yin yang because he's like, yeah, you're not getting this job. But I'm very hopeful and hopefully equally or more so inspiring. So today we're voice actors, and I'm going to have you slate like we slated before. We talked about slating. I want to talk just a minute about slating. We talked about the difference between the in-person audition when you have that 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds of chit chat versus I'm sending in a submission where it's basically name and you're doing the scene. There's no chit chat, there's no small talk, there's none of that. So the things that they're sizing you up and judging you on are your work, but also your slate. Now, there's an ongoing debate about slates, and you're going to figure out very quickly which side I fall on. If my producer's here listening to these auditions with me, who, by the way, is not an actor, they just know I like it or I don't like it. Sometimes they can't even put their finger on why they like it. It might be fully conscious, it might be non-conscious. Like, oh, he sounds like my grandpa. And they're filled with warm and fuzzies, and that could weigh into it. Maybe it's a conscious thought, maybe it's not. But I'll tell you something. If you can slate in the spirit of your read, we might fool them into thinking that you grace this earth that way. I don't want them to think I'm acting. I want them to think, yeah, I am the cab driver guy. Hey, Rick Zeef, how you doing? Where you going? All right. Yeah, I know that area. Why not? I've been on these panels where people like, I like them to get a sense of me. And then they can see where my work goes. To which I want to say, oh, are you in the market for a new best friend? Why do you need them to know who you are? I want them to think they're my character. So much so, Peter might argue this, but if I have a live audition, I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to saunter in, not fully, it depends what the character is, but I want to look the part, I want to feel the part, I want them to vibe me the second they have any stimulus of me, which if it's an on-camera thing, the second I walk through that door frame, they're already in judgment mode. The second you sit in the taxi, what's the first thing they do? They hit the meter. The money's rolling the second you close that door. The judgment meter's running the second they have any stimulus on you. In voiceovers, it's equally palpable, but it's subtle. The second you say your name, you're being judged. Why not let that judgment work for you in a nano way? So today I'm going to give you a whole bunch of little nano nuggets that add up to that table, getting that ball to roll toward you. Nothing I say is going to be earth-shatteringly some epiphany of, oh, the secret of the arts has been pulled. Now I get it. But I'm going to give you several little mini linchpin pulls. They're gonna go, oh, that plus that plus that plus that makes a more intelligent audition experience. Makes the odds of me getting cast better. So it's not wacky voice draped over text. Look, I do cartoons. Way beyond that. Okay? We're gonna talk about intelligent auditions. We're gonna talk about analyzed auditions. Myth number one, voiceovers is about voice. It's about analysis of text. You're deconstructing text. So those bullet points you're using for the stage and for film and TV are exactly the same. Who am I? Who am I talking to? What's my history with that person? What's my environment? How far away is that person from me? Right next to me? Across a rushing stream? Am I in a public place or in a private place? Do I care if the table at the next booth at Sizzler can hear what I'm saying? Because they're right behind me? Do I care? Am I saying something that requires some sensitivity? So being aware of your environment becomes a key player. So this is about juggling a lot of balls in the air. It's not just about, hey, I have a wacky French chef voice today. It's not enough. Okay? So I'm going to plague you with all those things. And you'll be surprised the things I probably plague you with aren't like, hey, can you pitch her higher? It's not going to be quite that simple. All right? But have fun, strap yourselves in. I am going to do this on my laptop where I have all the copy. So stand by 1 sec, please. We'll start off with a little game, actually.